definitely a goal. I mean, I love basketball. I want to play every single day. Um, yeah, like I just want to be out there to help the team win.
Personally, injury-wise, are you feeling anything on Sunday, and are you good to go this week?
Yeah, I feel great. I definitely feel great.
You've had all these games down the stretch that all mattered, and now
Yep.
you kind of shut it down for a week. What's that mentality, knowing that, okay, we've gotten in, but it's going to be a little bit before we get back out there?
Yeah, we got a little while before we get back out there, but we're in the gym every single day. All of us know what we got to do to win these games, and it's been a while since we've been in the playoffs. So to have this opportunity, I don't feel like anybody on our team is going to take it for granted. So we're putting in extra work and extra time in the gym so that we're prepared for Sunday. Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to this matchup against the Bucks? We know you got a lot of history this year
Right,
with
right.
them, but how much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, we definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, the Patriots haven't been in the playoffs in a couple years, so to have this opportunity, we're very grateful, and we're going to go out there and work our behinds off to win these games. So.
There's speculation that Giannis may not play at least game one. What's your approach as you guys get ready to take on this team on Sunday?
Yeah, we really don't pay attention to any of that. We prepare for him to be there just in case, but we know what we got to do. We play these guys enough times to understand their team. Yeah, they got a new coach in Doc, but we feel like we're well prepared. And Jenny, Jim, Coach Rick, all the coaches, Mike, LP, everybody's doing a great job getting us prepared for Sunday. So.
Do you have a sense of how different they are? I mean, just how different they operate. It seems like they're a little bit better in this transition defense. What do you have a sense in terms of how they've changed, with Doc?
With Doc?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't really change anything other than, like you said, transition. Like, they playing a little bit more in transition, but I feel like they play the same type of offense in the half court. We just got to lock into everything the coaches is telling us to do, and we'll be good.
Do you welcome the challenge of going on the road over in Milwaukee? I mean, your thoughts on that, just starting the playoffs? I mean, I'm sure it'd be nice to be at home, but to go on the road, give me your take on that.
I mean, I like playing on the road. I just feel like, I don't know, I like to shut some crowds up with dunks, with threes, stuff like that. But can't wait to get back to Indiana, though, too. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
You guys like to play with pace and in transition, but playoffs is a little more half court at times. How do you sense that adjustment will go for you guys?
I feel like we're just going to play our game. We're not going to change anything we're doing. Feel like offensively, like we've proven what type of team we can be. Transition, half court, playing fast, one of the fastest teams in the league. I feel like we're going to keep that identity and just share the ball as well. The more we overthink things, the harder the game's going to become for us. So if we stick to what we know, our habits, things are going to be good.
We didn't get to ask you about the Bucks on Sunday. What stands out to you about them and what that matchup will entail for you guys?
They're a great veteran team, and they've got the experience. They've got the championship. We have great respect for all their guys. I know there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen with Giannis. We got to be prepared for all scenarios. It'll be great competition. Fiserv is a great place to play. The fans in Milwaukee are, among the best, and it's an opportunity that's going to be very difficult, but we're looking forward to it.
All of your 5 games with them were before the Pascal trade, before they changed coaches. How much can you even look back at those games as like a blueprint for what you can do in this, or do you have to throw them out completely?
A lot has changed. And we're looking at all that stuff because you look at everything, but we've just we got to prepare for all different scenarios. I mean, there's 3 or 4 guys that are playing for them that weren't playing at the time. Like Beverly wasn't on the team, Crowder didn't play any of the games, and there's some guys that were playing some that haven't been playing as much. So. But there's going to be a lot of noise externally. We got to ignore the noise and focus on ourselves and what we need to do to compete at our best level. That's what it's going to be about.
Does anything stand out in terms of what they're better at since they've brought Doc in? I mean, what's changed in terms of their approach, and how do you think they've improved? I guess. I mean, the record's not necessarily better, but how have you seen any aspect of it?
They've changed some things and probably simplified some things, and they're playing more zone. Those are things we got to be prepared for. their most difficult actions are the ones that Lillard and Giannis are involved in. And Doc has them doing a lot of that stuff. And look, if it happens that Giannis doesn't play for a game or whatever it is, Portis is playing the best he's played his entire career. And so, he's shooting like 70% from three in the last 5 games or something. So, there's a lot to digest, whether Giannis plays or whether he doesn't play.
Rick, I know you said a couple days ago, it's not all, look, the playoffs are the playoffs. I mean, this organization's had some great success. But how proud are you, though, as a head coach, to have your team with the chance to win?
I'm very proud of the season that we've had. Worked awfully hard to get a top 6 pick. I mean, it took the last game of the season. We had to win 4 out of 5 at the end. I mean, every single game was meaningful, really, since November. And so that's been a great experience for us. And now we enter a different level, of competition. And so we're doing our best to prepare our guys, not overload them, but prepare them to compete, at the best possible level, based on what brings us success.
From what you've seen from the guys these past few games, and to get some of those, if you will, must-win situations, what excites you about this team as you go into the postseason, what you've seen the past few weeks?
Well, I love this team, and it's been beyond a pleasure to work with these guys all year. And so, it's in terms of must-wins and all that kind of stuff. That's external noise. We got to focus on process, and we've got to ignore the noise that doesn't pertain to how we approach things. And so, a lot of that is going to be the task of the coaching staff, and then the players are going to have to recognize what's important and what isn't. Go ahead.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You've been to the mountaintop coaching. Some guys will get their first taste of the postseason. What are some of the roadblocks you've seen from young guys getting that first taste, and how do you kind of work on that?
I don't see roadblocks. I just, I see a group that's very excited to compete. And look, there's no substitute for getting thrown into a series against a great veteran team. I mean, it's the ultimate. And but what our guys are going to realize and learn is that the game essentially is the same, but there's a compete level that goes a couple of notches above the highest compete level that you go through during the regular season, and that's the beauty of it, And so it's interesting, It's a little different than the college game. The college game, you get a lot of these really intense rivalry crowds during the season, and then you get in the NCAA tournament, and you're in all these neutral sites. The beauty of the NBA is it's kind of the opposite. You get into the playoffs, and everything gets amped up to the max, and that's why it's such a great challenge. That's why it's so hard. But the things that are really fun in life are the things that are hard that you're able to accomplish. So this is a great opportunity for this team, and it's the right opportunity at the right time.
So much buzz about Caitlin Clark. It's now official. She's the Indiana Fever.
Great.
How excited are you to have her part of this entire PSC organization?
Yeah, this is a momentous 24-hour period, with the Fever drafting Caitlin, and all the things that are going to come with it. I mean, 36 out of 40 games on national TV is phenomenal. It'll be great to have her around. We hope to see her and the Fever players around some during the playoffs. That'd be great. But for the city of Indianapolis, we got Tyrese, who's rumored to be, a member of the Olympic team, which is awesome. You got Caitlin Clark, who's now on board with Pacer Sports and Entertainment. I mean, it's exciting times.
You said rumor. If he is a part of that list of the Team USA,
I would check USA Basketball social media tomorrow.
Okay.
All day.
If that does happen, what does that mean to you as a coach? You know how hard he works.
Yeah, it would be a great accomplishment, and it would be a great feather in the cap for USA basketball too, to have a guy that is such a great connector and such a great young player.
What can you, if anything, take from the games you played with the Bucks this season, knowing that your team looks a lot different? They've changed coaches in the time since.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets you more maybe familiar with their personnel, but it's a new coaching staff. They're playing a lot different than than they were when we played against them. At the same time, we've added Pascal since, so we're a little different too. So I think that you can, know personnel from it, but it doesn't really, do anything to really watch. Like you watch those games a little bit to see how they might defend, but they even defend a little different. So it doesn't really do a ton. But you're aware of them. It helps personnel-wise, but honestly, those 5 games don't matter. The 82 that we've played this year don't really matter at this point. It's really a fresh start, and just got to approach those the right way.
How are you feeling this week, heading into your first playoffs? Everybody talks about it being the best time of the year. Like, do you feel that already in your first practice? What are you going through?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really thankful to be here. Usually at this point, I'm getting my exit meetings and talking to you guys like a press conference to get ready for my vacation. So I'm just excited to be playing basketball. My plan is to keep playing for the next couple months. So, I think that's the great part about being in this position. I'm really excited about it.
When you look at the Bucks, you guys have a little history this year. Give me your thoughts on just how much you're looking forward to this series against a really good team in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to competing against them. Looking forward to being back home. Like, obviously, it's really close for me. Usually I'm getting like 80, 90 tickets for these games, but that will not be happening for the playoffs. Just my immediate family I'm getting tickets for. But I'm just excited to play back at home and, excited to compete against a team that's been champions. They got 2 of the best players that have ever played this game. So I'm excited to compete against them and looking forward to that matchup.
Do you feel a little rivalry? I mean, because these games have been kind of heated with you guys, and they've been good games as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's more for storyline purposes and y'all to talk about. I mean, I don't really care about that. I think that at the end of the day, it's just about competing, and they're a good team, we're a good team, so, whoever, may the best team win at the end of the day. I don't think I really get into what is or isn't a rivalry. That's for y'all to really decide.
I know you said you wiped the slate clean of the 82 games, but how valuable is it that you played meaningful games down the stretch that had that feeling of like, we need to really get this one?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think like the in-season tournament helped. I think that these last couple of games where everything was kind of, had real stakes behind it, I think that those are all good. Just, to see how guys handle pressure, see how I handle pressure. I think it's been good for us as a group to see. And, at the end of the day, I think that you can kind of take certain things from our last, 15, 20, 30 games that have helped and been good and been bad, and use those experiences, to help us move forward.
You've played a lot of basketball games, but knowing this will be something new for you, do you kind of brace yourself and say, okay, there's going to be a couple moments at the start where maybe I feel a little different, and then kind of lock in after that?
I think just not getting too high, not getting too low. That's kind of been my biggest thing this last 30, 40 games, just understanding being present in the moment. I think that sometimes in the course of highly competitive games, we can get caught up in the little things, disputes with the refs, making or missing shots, guys not being in the right spots. Like, you can get frustrated by all those things, but I think truthfully at the end of the day, it's just about, being present in the moment and understanding that, don't get too high, don't get too low, anything can happen in a 7-game series.
Pascal played 41 games in a Pacers uniform, maybe not all of them with you, but that's a half a season. Do you feel like he's pretty well ingrained into what you're doing, and you all are accustomed to what he wants to do?
For sure. I think that, he's very familiar with our terminology and all those things. I think it will be interesting. We haven't played Milwaukee with him yet, so understanding how we defend them and what we do a little bit different than probably other teams, I think that will be, it's good for him to see and be a part of now moving forward. So, I think that, the last 41 have been good for him to be with us, get acclimated to what we do, and also understanding the way that we play to beat teams like Milwaukee and, to beat other matchups.
How is Milwaukee different? You talked about them just being different with Doc and everything. From in your eyes, what's changed? How do they operate differently? What are they better at, I guess, maybe than when you?
I mean, I don't know if anything specific. I think specifically, like, their pick and roll coverage has changed a little bit. Obviously, at the start of the year, they really messed around with what they were going to do with Brook, being at the level, being in a deep drop. I think he's moved more kind of to being a drop and protecting the rim a little bit more. I think that helped. But I think personnel-wise as well, just different coaching staff. Like Rex Clayman's over there. He was my defensive coach my rookie year in Sacramento. So, he's familiar with me. I'm familiar with him. So I think that just kind of knowing each other, I think will will help them and help us as well. So I think just personnel-wise and, just adjustments and things like that. What are they going to do, coaching staff-wise, in their decision-making down the stretch? So I'm looking forward to that.
Are they better set up in transition? I mean, obviously you guys were able to get a lot of points that way. It seems like they've put more of an emphasis on not getting beat that way. And do you see that? And do you see it as at least a little bit more difficult to score on them if you're running?
I guess that's to be determined, isn't it?
Right.
I think there's transition defense and there's transition defense against the Indiana Pacers. I think it's a little different. So I think that's for them to, figure out and for us to find out if that's the case. So, listen, at the end of the day, they're a really good team. They do a lot of things well. So we just got to be ready to play.
I know you guys don't take it for granted getting that chance to be in the playoffs. And I know it's been 4 years since you've been in the postseason. Coach Carlisle was telling us how, it's more than just getting to the playoffs for you guys. Do you echo those same sentiments of how you guys are feeling going into this postseason?
For sure. We're not just satisfied being here. We want to take a lot more than that, but all that stuff, is not for really us to, be concerned about. Because the minute you start worrying about what's way in front, things get bad in the present, So, and looking back at the past and the success we had against them in the year, they'll get bad if we really focus on that. So I think just focus on every day. Obviously we don't play till Sunday, but we had a good practice today, and we're gonna have a good practice tomorrow. And it's about once you fall in love with that process of the preparation behind it, I think that the results will come. But when you're so results driven and driven by what could happen, things get bad. So I think for us it's just about being present. As a young team, it's something that we all just have to remind each other of, because we're all young. We want the world. We want to win a million championships. It's not a question, but just be about being present where we are right now.
No pun intended, but how do you pace yourself going from Sunday to Sunday? This long break, you're practicing, doing your thing, but the excitement level's there already.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me is I'm excited regardless. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think the good part for me is there's basketball being played today and basketball being played tomorrow for me to watch and kind of get to see and feel that environment through the TV at least. But I think at the end of the day, it ain't hard to be excited for these games and be up. I have trouble sleeping already. You know what I mean? I just am excited to play against these guys and excited to be in the playoffs and compete at the highest level.
There's another star coming to town, Caitlin Clark. I know you greeted her last night through social media. How excited are you to have her part of this incredible organization here?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her to be here. I think it brings a lot of excitement to the city, and a city with a lot of young talent already as it is, and adding her, she's one of the faces of women's basketball, and for her to be here and under the same roof, I think is really exciting for me, and I think a lot of people in our organization, and just look forward to watching her grow throughout the process, watching her get better. Looking forward to actually being able to cheer for her now. Now she's with the good guys. But no, I think just being able to grow a relationship with her, I think will be cool. I'm sure we'll both be asked to probably do a million different shoots and things with each other. So look forward to being able to grow a relationship with each other and, help put indie sports on the map. But it's not just us two. It's A-Ridge with the Colts as well. There's many different people that are all part of this. So I think it's an exciting time to be an Indiana sports fan, and just glad that we're both at the forefront of that.
You got some horse shots ready? You take her in horse?
We'll see. Yeah.
There's been some reports that tomorrow could be a good day for you as far as being a part of Team USA. If that happens, what would that mean to you, being a young kid and getting a chance to represent your country?
Yeah, it would mean the world to me. Listen, at the end of the day, I think that all of us as kids have grown up watching USA basketball on every 4th of July, putting on a USA basketball jersey. I've really done that my whole life, watching my heroes play USA basketball. And it would mean a lot to me to get that opportunity. And it's something I've always wanted to do. Obviously last year, I was a part of that team that, we didn't have the success that we necessarily wanted. And so to get that opportunity to go back this year and, play for, something bigger, I think would mean the world to me. And at the end of the day, it's USA basketball. There's nothing bigger than it, nothing better than it. And it would mean the world, not just for me, but to represent where I'm from. I don't know if anybody's ever played in the Olympics, done anything in the Olympics where I'm from, even in my area, you know what I mean? So that'd be cool to represent, where I'm from, my family, in this organization. So it'd be awesome.
Whose USA jersey did you have?
Who's going to say what?
Jerseys did you have?
I'm sure you can find pictures of me in. I had a LeBron blue 6. I had a Steph white 4. I had a Magic. I had Mike, Kobe. Everybody. Everybody. Yeah.
How hard it is to try to get to the postseason. As a veteran of this team, how proud are you to have this opportunity to go to the postseason with yourself and these guys here?
Pride is definitely one thing. I'm just more so just excited, just kind of overwhelmed with emotions of just being back at this time of the year. I think the fans deserve it. More than anything, I know I've been here, and was here for that 25 or 27 win team. I watched it progress over the years. So the fact that we're here now means a lot to me, and I was able to stick it all out. So another opportunity, and it's another opportunity to actually make some noise.
Yeah, Rick was telling us, it's more than just getting to the playoffs. You want to make something happen in the postseason. Is that the message as a veteran you're sending to the guys here on the team as well?
Game at a time. I think, of course, that's the overall message, but you know how a series goes. Things can be high one game, and the next thing they make adjustments, and now you got to start figure it out all over again. So never too high, never too low in this. One game at a time.
Experience is the best techer. How do you share with some of your teammates that haven't been here before what to expect and what it's going to be like?
There's only so much I can tell them. It's a lot of emotions they got to experience on their own. What I do tell them is that it's nothing like anything you've ever been a part of before. As far as the emotions and as far as just the way the game is officiated, the way the game feels. Everything is different from the regular season. So I think the biggest thing is just handling your own emotions, like with your family, with your people around you, because that's when you're the only game on TV. Everybody's watching you. It's prime time. So I think dealing with a little bit of that is key as well.
What's this week in between when you have this space between your last game that obviously was critical in the next one? What's important to get done, I guess, and what's this?
Honestly, it's tough. You just you go from emotional games. We were these past 2 weeks of our season were like the playoffs. So we finally able to get here, and that usually can ride that momentum into the next game, but you got to kind of just sit on your ass and just wait a little bit around. So you're watching film. You're getting. You get your practice in and whatnot, but you had the anxiousness of just wanting to play. So, it's a little tough.
Pace has been such a key all season long. How much will that be a factor in this series?
I think it's one of our bigger advantages. So I think it's definitely going to be something that we have to utilize. But again, playoffs is a little different. It's more of a half-court, methodical game. So just being able to have a nice balance is key.
I asked Tyrese about the acclimation process with Pascal. He's played basically half a season now with you all. How comfortable are you with his game, and how is he fitting in with you?
I'm very comfortable. I think that we make the game easier for each other. I allow him space to operate, and then when he is operating, sometimes my man has to help a lot more, and I'm able to make more opportunities for myself, for the team. So I think we complement each other well, and he's someone who has championship experience, so it's going to do nothing but bode well for us.
82 games with this team, obviously, and what excites you about what you're seeing from your teammates as you get ready for this postseason?
It's youthful. It's exuberance, man. I think that's another advantage that you can kind of have coming to playoffs. People who have never been there before. It's just that excitement and the emotion they have. It just goes right out into the floor. So just in channeling their emotions, and I think just overall, just like I said, just kind of being in that environment. It's kind of what I miss the most, me personally, and what I'm craving the most.
Obviously, it'd been nice to have the 1 seed with a 20-game lead down the stretch, but how beneficial is it that you've been playing games that really mattered down the stretch?
It's been huge. I think that we got it early in the season, with the in-season tournament and stuff like that. I think that high-pressure games or high-quality games is something that's is important to the playoffs, and I'm glad we got that experience early.
What concerns you? I'm sorry. No.
Your game has changed so much since last time you played in the playoffs. How do you foresee yourself having a different or better impact in this series than you have in past series?
You said it. I'm playing a completely different position with a completely different team, and I got a completely different mindset, so everything's going to go well for myself.
When you look at Milwaukee, and you played them obviously 4 times, what concerns you about them as you get ready here for this game on Sunday?
They're a team with championship experience as well. They have a lot of veterans on their side. But more than anything, I think we're kind of looking forward just to rolling out and playing our brand of basketball. I think it's something that not a lot of people have seen before, and I think should be something to tune into. I think fans can something to be excited for. So we play a little bit different than a lot of other teams.
You welcome the fact you're going on the road to start this playoffs off. How your take on that? Just going to game 1 on the road and maybe in a hostile environment as well.
I've been there before, so it's not really much to me.
What's different about them? You obviously haven't played them since January. They've had a new coach since then. How do they operate differently?
From what I've seen, they play a little more two-man game between Giannis and Dame. He's at the top of the key. I think they're shifting a little bit more on defense than what they've done. Brooks a little bit further back than he was at the beginning of the season. He was up a lot more in the pick and roll, so little stuff is different. But like I said, things can't change from game to game. What they're doing this game, they might not do in game 3 or game 4, or so on and so forth. It's one of those things where you can't necessarily look at their schematics. You just got to go out there and just adjust as you go.
You're gonna be watching some ball tonight. That's what Tyrese said. He's excited. Not playing until Sunday. You get a little fix tonight.
Yeah, you have to. I think it's one of those things where it's kind of an exciting time of the year. I think the play-in tournament is something that's added a lot of excitement to the league. And really just, like I said, a chance to get up on our feet and just kind of analyze, just what other teams are going through as well.
In a postseason series with Boston, what is similar about what they do in the postseason? What is different? They're a whole different coaching staff. Can you take anything from that experience you had?
It's a different team, different coaching staff, different play style. But it's a brand new series, brand new team, so we're going to look at it with a great opportunity.
For this team specifically, you guys played the Bucks 5 times, but that was pre-Siakam. They've changed coaches. How much are you drawing from that versus trying to look at how they're different now?
We're going to look at it one game at a time. Obviously, we had some success against them earlier in the season, so we're going to take what we learned from some of those games and, hopefully use some of that to help us in the series moving forward.
How pumped are you to be in the playoffs and try to make some noise here?
It's super exciting. It's super exciting for us, super exciting for the team, super exciting for the city. We're just ready to go out and put on a show.
You have playoff experience, but this role, safe to say, is a much bigger, more important role. Does that amp up your anticipation because of where you are right now in your career?
I would say absolutely. I've gotten the opportunity to play in the postseason before, but not at this extent, not with this kind of role that I have on this team. So I'm super excited, super pumped. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's say there's a good chance, obviously, he doesn't play the first game or two, but what have you learned about defending Giannis over the time you've had to do it?
It's a team effort. Everybody knows that. We know that. We're gonna, we're gonna do what we need to do to be able to, guard him and guard everybody else on their team. But I think we're gonna be just fine as long as we stick to our game plan.
Who was scout team Giannis today, or was somebody even doing that?
We're focusing on us right now. So. Yeah.
What excites you about the opportunity with his teammates here to go into the postseason, just as far as where you guys are at, what you're playing at right now?
I don't think anybody kind of wanted to see us in the playoffs. So I think as a group we're taking that mindset and we're taking the approach of they got to come beat us. And so I think with that mindset we'll be just fine.
Seems like every single game there's a message at some point from Rick to rebound and run, to get out and go. Playoffs, there's a thought that it slows down. How do you continue to play your style when a slow down game sometimes happens?
That'll be on us to make sure we force that issue, to make sure we get the ball out quick, get rebounds and go. I would say maybe the game slows down just because teams hone in on each other's plays more. We're able to make more adjustments, but as long as we continue to play free and unpredictable, we'll cause problems.
You don't want to slow down?
Not at all. Yeah.
What's this week like? Just this in between, when you go from having games that really matter, and then you have obviously a playoff week from now, and in between you have this.
We're good to get a couple hard practices in, make sure we got our legs underneath us, make sure we got our wind, but at the same time it's good to get a break, good mental break, and reset going into the playoffs.
You talked about your role being different. What's different for you this week leading up to that because of that? From last time you were in the postseason.
I guess I prepare differently in my day-to-day. Continue to be better at that and just getting my mind right for these playoffs.
Did any of that Celtic experience help you this week? What the prep is and what it's like?
I would say I'm familiar with the prep and how detail-oriented you have to be on everything, and how really the minor details are going to carry and make a difference between game 1 and game 2. So that's something we'll learn as a group. Hopefully we can get off to a good start.
What stood out to you about Rick and his tactician brain already in just a couple days of prepping for the postseason?
I like the way we've approached today so far. I liked, the message he gave to us, pre-practice. So I'm excited for the way it's going to go.
How much more intense is the scout in general? Because when you're going from game to game to game, and sometimes you get the practice in between.
We'll be very purposeful.
Right.
It's not like we're changing the whole system here,
Right.
But it's just being very purposeful, being very detail oriented, and make sure we are very locked in with no mistakes going into game 1.